Here I've got the latest Behringer effects pedals, the Phaser and the MURF. I ordered them a couple of months ago from Anderton's in the UK when they were first announced, and they finally arrived yesterday. They're based on the original Moog MoogerFoogers of the same name, and they're like-for-like recreations. They both have the same controls on the front, but the layout has changed and the enclosure isn't a copy of the originals, but you can see they're going for a similar vibe. And on the back, we've got the same connections on both, with the addition of a USB-C on the MURF. And in this video, I'm gonna take a look at the MURF. I've not even turned the Phaser on yet, but there's so much to look at in this one alone, I thought it's better off to do two separate videos. I'll start off by taking you through the MoogerFooger for reasons that become apparent in a minute. So what is it? Well, it's a filter bank with an onboard sequencer, a drive circuit, and we've got an envelope and an LFO in there to tweak the sounds. But if I play, this is just like a Rhodes style tone. Add some drive. Some nice analog drive in there. Sounds great on guitars, that obviously. But I'll take that off for the purposes of this demo so you can hear what's happening with the rest of it. So if I just bypass it, we're coming out of just one speaker there, and that's because I'm coming in mono. You can only come in mono, but when I've got both speakers or both outputs connected at the back, you've got left and right. So if I bring it back in, we've got the odd ones coming through one speaker and the even ones coming through the other. And all together, we get that pan. Now that's not completely flat. These frequency bands are really distinctive. So, or distinct, or discrete. Turn it off. You can't hear anything. And if I just put some noise on this, you'll see what I mean. So if we start bringing them in from the top, red one speaker, white's the next, you can see all those bands coming in there. And if we bypass it, you get flat. So just by having it on, you're getting some interesting things happening. And if we bring in this LFO, this means it sort of drifts between those frequencies, or the frequencies drift, which we can see there. And I'm controlling that with this CP251 MoogerFooger processor. But that's easier to hear with a tone, so get like a phasey effect. But if we start taking these out, you can just have it like, let's turn that off for a second. It's like a graphic EQ almost. Great little thing, a filter bank. So it adds its own distinct tone even when it's all up full, but then you can start tweaking it. And then we've got this switch here, and this brings us to bass frequency. So if we look at this, we've got two frequencies for each of the sliders, and that's because the pedal actually came out originally as the MURF, then we got the bass MURF, then the MIDI MuRF have both. So just listen to one of them at a time. So one's more tuned towards bass frequencies, and one towards mids. So let's put them all up, do something with them. So that's the filter bank on its own, but now we've got the sequence generator here, or the pattern generator. We've got 12 patterns. We can see this rate knob started, the rate's set by this, or by tap tempo through an input at the back, or by MIDI. I've got this synced up to MIDI. And we've got different patterns for the mids and for the basses. But if we bring in pattern 1 or pattern 2, So envelopes really snappy. It's nice and slow. That's like a VCA envelope on each of the bands. Then if we add that to the LFO, we can get all sorts of crazy things. Just adjusting the synth tone here. Hopefully then that gives you a good overview of what the original MoogerFooger did. Let's come over to the Behringer now and you'll see why I've not been demoing stuff on this, and that's because I think I have a broken unit here. Putting nothing through it, once I start turning up the bands, we get that peak up there, poking up around 10 kilohertz, and where that peak pops up depends on how warm this is. So when you first turn it on, it sort of wobbles around a bit, it drifts a bit, and then it seems to rest, well, between 8 and 10 or 12. So we're getting an awful lot of noise in there, which could be normal, but those peaks definitely aren't. And that's just annoying. So trying to demo what it does with this noise in there is a bit frustrating, and it can't possibly be okay. There's no way that's come through the production and testing with someone thinking that's all right. So this is definitely a broken unit. Well, I hope so. So this one will be going back. But yeah, that's why I've not been demoing what it does with this one, but we'll try and avoid that. I did think the whistle had disappeared, but that was just because I turned it down. So I did a little Instagram post and I had the whistle in it, and because I'd heard it on the phone, I didn't notice it. But anyway, it's there. To show it doing the same as the Moog, we're getting the same thing there with the red peaks and the white peaks for the left and the right. Obvious and distinct filter bands. We're playing a tone through it then. Let's left, right, and then mixed. So let's start playing with the patterns. So I think the patterns for the first 12, I think, are the same as they are on the MURF, but don't forget, I've had this and I've changed them myself. I'll show you that in a second. So we've got this synced up to Ableton. So let's try and get the same rate over here. Let's turn this one down. To try to get them in sync then, now they're at the same rate, stop Ableton and I'll press play again, and hopefully they should be playing at the same rate. And you'll notice this rate LED here isn't flashing, and sometimes, especially on Logic, if you're trying to loop this on Logic, it just stops when you're trying to loop it while it's synced, which is weird. And then sometimes it'll only start again once you wiggle this. I'll show you what I mean. So I'll press play on Ableton. Oh, it's working fine now. We're out of sync. I'll try again. I had this perfect earlier. I'll try it one more time, or maybe just. There we go. Is that right? Yeah. So we turn them all up. There we go. Got them in sync. So let's play with the envelope. I'll drop this to its minimum. It's not quite snappy. I think I said that in the intro. But I have recorded the intro a couple of times now, just trying to get these things matched. So yeah, this one's now nice and smooth. So the envelopes do react slightly differently, but they do the same thing. So come all the way over there with that one. Again, snappier. Not a big difference, but it is there. Okay, then let's start playing with this LFO as well. So let's add it. Just make it a bit slower. Just gonna try and drop the rate of this. Try and do the same over here. I'm gonna change this rate, you see it. Sort of flashes a lot. It's a bit harder to see what you're doing with this one. Let's try that. About the same. Yeah. Okay, make the envelope longer. Bring in the LFO. There's the output. So you can see you can match them. Let's just flick this over to the bass. Oh, we're getting different patterns, which is weird. I think they're different, or they just react differently. But in effect, it's the same thing. You can see him play with them for ages, which I did last night, and have them pretty much bang on. Which one am I listening to? I'll bring a synth back in. So yeah, I've just had a couple of weird things with the rate knob on the Behringer when it's been looping in Logic. It doesn't seem to do it in Ableton, but sometimes when you start it again, you've got to give it a wiggle for it to catch it, whereas this one doesn't. It just feels, this one just feels the MoogerFooger just feels a little bit sort of more stable, really, but there's not a huge lot in it. The LFO goes just as fast on both of them. Maybe let's try a little bit of the drive on the Behringer. So go back to the Rhodes tone. Put it all on full. Do the same over here. Nice. That's quite silly, isn't it? Try again over here. It's lovely that, isn't it? Try again here on maximum. A bit shinier maybe on the Moog. Definitely. A bit more sparkle on the drive on the Moog. But the other big difference is that on the Moog, you can actually, well, there was an app, there still is an app, but you can't access it on a new Mac. You can access it still on a PC or on anything before Mojave on a Mac. And on that, you can edit your patterns. And this is brilliant. You can have a different amount of steps on the frequency bands, so you get polymetric rhythms, do all sorts of weird stuff. It's just a shame it's not still updated, so you can't use it on a new Mac and you've got to get an old PC out to use this. But it's very handy. On the Behringer, we get Guitar Tribe. I've never opened the Guitar Tribe app before. This was a new one for me. It seems that you can import and export presets, but it looks like it's settings only for the front panel and nothing for the pattern. So you can pick the pattern, the rate, and the mix, but you can't edit the patterns themselves like you can in the Moog app. That'd be great in an update. And finally, the hardware itself, it's a decent enough bit of kit, you know, for the 130 quid compared to however much one of these is going to cost you used, which would be hundreds and hundreds, I'd imagine. It's okay. It'd be nice if the knobs were a bit bigger. It'd be nice if it wasn't quite as deep. It's a really sort of clunky. I thought these were clunky when they came out, but this is a really strange shape. I don't know why it's so deep. I don't know why they didn't just make it look a bit different, to be honest, because it does look a bit cheap with these sort of fake wooden sides. I think they're fake anyway, but you know, made it look a bit more modern. But then again, I suppose the market is so to make it obviously the MIDI MURF, isn't it? But yeah, just a pity this one is knackered. Hopefully it's just this one that's knackered, because if they're all like that, it's a bit of a rubbish instrument, but I can't imagine they are. Anyway, I hope that was of some use to somebody somewhere. If it was, please do subscribe, ring the bell, join me over on Patreon, all that. If you are going to buy one, do check out my affiliate links as well. I think Andertons were the first to get them in the UK. Thomann have got a waiting list, but yeah, do click on the affiliate links, because it all does help to support the channel. Anyway, thanks for staying to the very end, and I will see you next time.